Hey, everybody. Yeah, it is me. I'm back. Thanks for all the, by the way, thanks for all the prayers from everybody. It really did help. Uh, Family is doing a little bit better. Uh, It's a slow recovery, but hopefully everything's like starting an admission. Seemingly not a new operation uh, this time. We're going to talk about basically, waiting for God. Beyond that's a BBC from what I remember series. But this time we're not talking about just, you know, waiting for God to come get us. It's more of waiting for God to do something to us or for us or get something going for us. So without further ado, here is our mission commander to give you today's message.
Hello and welcome to our new operation here, Operation 5 Long Haul. I just want to say again, thank you for joining us here today at Power Up Church. So let's get into it. Before the fleet gets underway, there's a period where there is quiet. Some of us may not experience it, but most of the crew does. It's where we have really a quiet period where before the engines ignite, before the stars stretch into streaks of light, and it's before the coordinates are really locked in. A space dock is where the crew gathers, calibrate systems, and make the final checks that whisper through the decks and through the systems themselves. It's the place between the calling and the launch, between the briefing and the battle, and between anticipation and deployment. It's not always loud, it's not very glamorous, but it hums with a different kind of energy, readiness without movement. Spiritually, many of us live in this space far more often than we expect or want. God has spoken direction into our hearts. We sense the mission ahead. There's a dream stirring, a purpose unfolding, a call from the supreme command that resonates deep within us. But everything around us feels still. No acceleration, no unfolding path, no dramatic shift in the star field. Just quiet, heavy, prolonged. And scripture speaks right into these seasons with the clarity of a commander addressing the crew. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Waiting is not the absence of God's work. It's the environment where God does some of his most important work. The space dock isn't wasted time, it's mission prep. The quiet isn't abandonment, it's alignment. But for many believers, there's this is where discouragement really tries to settle in. We misinterpret the stillness. We think nothing is happening because nothing looks like it's happening. Yet we see stagnation. God often sees as construction. What we perceive as silence, heaven knows as strategy. The space dock isn't holding you back, it's holding you together. God building something in you that will sustain the mission ahead. And that leads us directly into the heart of this first briefing. If the space dock teaches us anything, it's this: progress doesn't always look like motion. Sometimes progress looks like maintenance. Sometimes it looks like calibration. Sometimes it just looks like God doing quiet work in hidden places. Which brings us to our first waypoint. A truth every helmsman, every captain, every believer, every crew member needs to anchor into the start at the start of a long haul mission. Slow progress doesn't mean no progress. So, every seasoned captain knows that the most essential upgrades to a vessel never happen mid flight. Okay, so Mr. Scott can handle that on the Enterprise, but in reality, that doesn't always happen. Everything basically happens slowly, methodically, and almost really invisibly while the ship is still docked. Hull plating is strengthened one weld at a time. Internal systems are recalibrated with patient precision. Guidance arrays are fine-tuned to the quiet hum of the engineering deck. None of it looks dramatic. In fact, it really doesn't look movie-worthy at all. None of it feels fast, but it's exactly the slow, deliberate strengthening that determines whether a ship survives the deep reaches of space or collapses under pressure. The quiet is the reinforcing work. Spiritually, God forms us in the same way. We want transformation to happen quickly, as if faith were something that could be downloaded at hyperspeed or done at a snap of a finger. We want our character to mature after a single prayer. We want clarity, breakthrough, spiritual growth to come with cinematic speed. But the Supreme Commander does not build quick faith. He builds strong faith. And strong faith is almost always formed slowly, in the quiet corners of life where no one else sees the work he is doing. And this is why the Lord speaks through the prophet Zechariah, saying, "For whoever has despised the day of small things shall rejoice, and shall be the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel. These 7 are the eyes of the Lord, which range through the whole earth." Heaven does not dismiss small progress. Heaven, celebrates it, really. God never overlooks small beginnings, small acts of obedience, small victories fought in private, or small steps taken with trembling faith. To him, the small things are the sacred things, because they are the foundation of everything that follows. The wisdom of Scripture reinforces this again and again. Ecclesiastes reminds us, better is the end of a thing than its beginning, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. In other words, the long view reveals the truth. What looks unimpressive at first often becomes powerful in the hands of God. And the patient, the one who trusts the slowest of his timing, are stronger than the ones who demand results overnight. Very difficult in our instant gratification society, isn't it? And likewise, Paul encourages believers in his letter to the Philippians. "And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ." If God started the work, he will finish the work. And if he hasn't finished it yet, it means he has not stepped away from your dock. He is still shaping you for what's ahead. Slow progress doesn't mean no progress. It means God is being precise. It means he is adding strength beneath the surface that you may not recognize yet. It means he is fortifying areas of your life that will be crucial for the mission he's preparing you for. We often misinterpret the pace of God. We see slowness and assume stagnation. We feel hidden and assume forgotten. But in heaven's perspective, slow seasons are strengthening seasons. Hidden seasons are protective seasons. Quiet seasons are alignment seasons. The dock is not a delay, it's a design. Before the ship can carry the weight of the mission, the hull must be reinforced. Before you can step into new systems, your faith must mature enough to sustain the pressure of them. God is not withholding progress from you. He is investing integrity into you. He is building a stability within you that speed alone could never produce. And he is teaching you to value the discipline of steady obedience over the thrill of a rapid advancement. This is the truth of this first waypoint. Progress in the kingdom is not measured by speed, but by surrender. God is not looking for people who sprint for the season and burn out. He is looking for people who will endure the long haul. And endurance is built in the grind, in the quiet, in the slow, in the faithful repetition of small obedience. If you are in a season that feels slow, you are not falling behind. You are being formed for something greater. And this is where many of us begin to feel the tension of the long haul. Because once you realize God is working slowly, deliberately, beneath the surface, the next challenge emerges. What do you do when you can't see the next step? What do you do when the progress is so subtle it feels invisible? What do you do when the commander seems to turn off the navigation indicators, leaving you with motion but no clear direction? The truth is, slow seasons test your patience, but unclear seasons test your trust. And if this waypoint teaches us that God is working even when progress feels small, then the next phase of the journey teaches us how to move when the path feels dim. This brings us to our next critical truth of this operation, one that every crew member must embrace when the stars blur and the guidance grid goes quiet. Of course, one of the most disorienting moments for any pilot is when the navigation markers suddenly go dark. The glowing indicators that once pulsed across the star chart disappears. The route that once seemed so obvious becomes a blur, and the steady beacon that once pointed forward is replaced with nothing, silence, stillness, a blank field of stars with no highlighted path. In that moment, instinct tenses, anxiety rises, and every part of you wants to slam the console and demand clarity. But in deep space, there are times when command intentionally disables the external markers, not to punish the crew, not to confuse the pilot, but to sharpen their dependence on something deeper than a glowing direction indicator. Spiritually, God often leads us through this same experience. We go through seasons where the next step, which once felt clear, suddenly becomes foggy. Decisions that once came easily now feel complex and heavy. Paths that once seemed illuminated now appear covered in shadow. We pray, but no clear answer arrives. We search for signs, but none appear. We listen for instructions, but the voice of God seems quieter than usual. It is in these moments that the Lord is teaching us a lesson that no amount of speed or certainty can produce: the art of trusting Him when He provides presence instead of clarity. And this is the essence of Proverbs 3:5-6, one of the most grounding passages in all of Scripture. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. And from time to time, we will come back to this passage often, because I want you to notice something. God doesn't promise. Definitely notice that, what God doesn't promise. He doesn't promise immediate visibility. He doesn't promise an instant straight path. He doesn't promise that the route will always be clear. Instead, He promises that as you trust Him, especially when you do not understand, He will take responsibility for guiding your steps. Straight paths are the result of trust, not the reward for certainty. And as I always say, Scripture will reinforce this in very powerful ways. Psalm 32:8 echoes God's commitment to the confused believer. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. And that's comforting. God doesn't say He will teach you only when the way is obvious. He promises counsel even when you cannot see the map. Even in Isaiah 42:16, God speaks directly into seasons of obscurity. And I will lead the blind in a way that they do not know, in paths that they have not known. I will guide them. I will turn the darkness before them into light, the rough places into level ground. These are the things I do, and I do not forsake them. When you do not know the way, you're not failing. You are precisely where God can demonstrate His guidance more clearly. And the truth is, unclear seasons are not meant to confuse you. They are meant to transform you. When God turns off the quest markers, He is shifting your dependency. He is teaching you to move not by sight, but by surrender. He is teaching you to discern His whisper rather than rely on environmental cues. He is teaching you to walk with Him at a pace of trust rather than sprint ahead with the illusion of control. And He is reminding you that faith is not built on having all the answers. It is built on following the one who does. Some of the greatest faith milestones in your life will come from seasons where God's voice seems faint, but His hand is still steady. When the instructions are unclear, but the presence is undeniable. When the path is dim, but the peace is deep. In those seasons, you discover a level of spiritual maturity that certainty has never produced. You learn to listen instead of predict. You learn to follow instead of force. And you learn that the commander is far more committed to your journey than you could ever be. Waypoint 2 is simple yet difficult. Trust God when the markers go dark. Trust Him when the steps feel unclear. Trust Him when your understanding falters. Because the absence of visible direction is not the absence of divine direction. The commander is not silent. He is drawing you closer than you have ever been. He has not abandoned your mission. He has taken you by the hand and led you more personally. And as we prepare to move deeper into the mission, this truth sets the stage for the next part of our briefing. Because if this waypoint teaches us how to trust when the console goes silent, then our next waypoint will teach us how to rest in the fact that even when you can't hear him, the Supreme Commander is still very much online. Now, speaking of waypoint 2, again, one of the most unsettling experiences for any crew when the bridge goes quiet. Not malfunctioning, just quiet. No directive streaming in, no fresh updates from command, no audible confirmation that your last maneuver registered. Just the steady hum of the engines and the soft vibration of the ship beneath your feet. For a less seasoned crew, silence feels like abandonment. But any veteran pilot knows there's a world of difference between silent calms and an absent command. Mission control can be quiet without ever being disconnected. Spiritually, this is one of the hardest truths to learn. We are comforted when God speaks, encouraged when he confirms, and energized when he directs. But what do we do when that line goes quiet? What do we do when there's no dramatic revelation, no supernatural sign, no clear path or highlighted next step? And this is where many believers begin to drift, not because God has left them, but because they interpret silence as distance. But heaven's silence often carries a different meaning: stability, and not separation. Scriptures reveal God's posture in these moments with striking clarity. Again, Isaiah declares, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." This is not passive waiting. This is purposeful waiting. The kind of waiting that strengthens your spiritual core rather than depletes it. The kind of stability, the kind that stabilizes your soul instead of weakens it. The kind that reorients you to God's presence rather than your perception. Waiting is not wasted time. It's a renewal time. Renewed strength, renewed focus, renewed trust. David echoes this truth with quiet assurance in Psalm 46:10. "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." God talking to David in Psalm 46:10, speaking to you. So when the comms go silent, the invitation is not to panic, but to know, to remember, to anchor, and to settle into the truth that God has not changed his position, his plan, or his proximity. The silence is not the sound of God's absence. It is the sound of heaven working behind the scenes. God speaks loudly when necessary, but he leads consistently, even when you hear nothing. And Jesus himself, during his earthly ministry, demonstrated the reality of the Father's unseen, unceasing oversight. He told his disciples, "Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him." In other words, God's awareness of your situation isn't activated by your prayers. It's present before your prayers. This means that long before you felt the silence, long before the path dimmed, long before confusion settled in, Mission Control already had eyes on your journey. Silence from the bridge is often a sign of confidence from command. In earthly terms, teachers fall quiet during tests, not to punish the students or to just annoy them, but to help them concentrate because the student needs to demonstrate what has been deposited by the teacher. In heavenly terms, God sometimes withholds new instructions because he trusts you with what he's already given you. Silence becomes a canvas where obedience reveals itself. Silence becomes the arena where trust matures, and silence becomes the environment where faith stops being a feeling and becomes a posture. It's also important to recognize that God's silence is rarely stillness, at least not on his side of the line. While you perceive a quiet channel, heaven is often orchestrating details you cannot see, aligning relationships, shifting circumstances, preparing opportunities, blocking dangers, redirecting trajectories. The unseen hand of God moves with more precision and science than we can comprehend in the noise. If the commander downloaded everything he was doing, your system wouldn't process it and couldn't handle it. You'd be overloaded with information. So instead, he gives you just enough to trust him, not so much that you rely on your own interpretation. There will be seasons where it feels like your prayers are just bouncing against the hull and drifting into space unanswered. Seasons when you wonder if God saw the tears you cried, the questions you whispered, and the decisions you agonized over. But the scripture, the history of the believer who has ever walked with God, testifies with confidence. Mission Control never powers down. He never steps away from the console. He never sleeps, never slumbers, never misses a reading. His eyes are always on the ship. His hand is always on the course. His presence is always active, even when his voice is quiet. This waypoint reminds us of something essential for the long haul. Silence is not a sign of his absence. It's a sign of his oversight. When the commander is silent, it is because the mission is still unfolding exactly as he intends. The quiet invites you to lean into his presence, trust his timing, and rest in the truth that he sees every star, tracks every drift, and knows every threat long before you really will encounter it. You're not navigating in the dark alone. The Supreme Commander is still online, and always will be. So, as you know, every long-haul voyage reaches a point where the real challenge is not danger, it's monotony. Many of us have experienced this on long drives just across the country or just to the corner store. But in this case, it's not crisis, but consistency. Not the dramatic battles or thrilling discoveries we'll see in Star Trek, Star Wars, or anything like that, but the long stretches of quiet space where nothing seems to change. The engines hum, the lights stay steady, the stars drift by, and the crew performs the same checks, the same diagnostics, the same routines over and over again. These are the moments when the mission doesn't feel exciting, or inspiring, or even cinematic. These are the moments when the grind just sets in. In Starflight, the grind is where discipline is tested. It's where crews either grow complacent or grow stronger. A ship cannot reach a distant system without enduring these uneventful stretches. And spiritually, the grind becomes the proving ground of our faith. Not the mountaintops, not the breakthroughs, not the miracles. Those moments are inspiring, no doubt, but they are not the foundation. The real foundation of a disciple's life is built in the daily repetition of small obedience. Yeah, the grind isn't glamorous, but it is transformative. We love the moments when God moves dramatically, when prayers are answered instantly, when directions feel clear, when opportunities open without resistance. But the truth is, those moments are rare compared to the long seasons of ordinary faithfulness. Most growth in your life won't happen in the big moments. It will happen through the small choices you make repeatedly when no one is watching. The grind is where your character is shaped, your endurance is developed, and your commitment is tested. Paul captures this reality with striking clarity in Galatians 6:9. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. The harvest is guaranteed, but not the timing. The due season arrives for only those who stay faithful through the grind. It doesn't say you will reap if you work harder. It doesn't say you will reap if you feel spiritual. And really, it doesn't say you will reap if everything goes smoothly. It says you will reap if you do not give up. In other words, endurance is the doorway to blessing. Scripture reinforces this theme. James writes, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life which God has promised to those who love him." It's not the man who performs perfectly, not the man who never struggles, not the man who always knows what he's doing. The blessed one is the one who stays steady, the one who keeps praying, the one who keeps seeking, the one who keeps walking even when the ground feels dry. Jesus himself taught in Luke 16:10 that one who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much, and one who is dishonest in a very little is also dishonest in much. Again, Luke 16:10 really comes back. So, before God, and trusts you with larger missions, he watches how faithful you steward the small ones. This is the heart of this part of the briefing. Consistency is a spiritual superpower. It's not flashy, and it won't get applause, but it transforms you from someone who seeks momentary inspiration into someone who embodies lifelong devotion. The grind teaches you how to remain faithful when enthusiasm fades. It teaches you that obedience is not sustained by emotion, but by conviction. That spiritual maturity is not measured by intensity, but by endurance. And here's the truth no one likes to admit, including me. The grind exposes the places where we want God to work faster than we are willing to grow. It reveals our impatience, our impulse for comfort, our tendency to drift. But it also reveals where God is strengthening us, adjusting us, deepening us. The grind isn't God ignoring you, it's God investing in you. It's where your spiritual muscles are built. It's where your identity in Christ is reinforced. It's where the foundations are laid for blessings you are not yet ready to receive. Think of it this way. If God gave you the mission too soon, the mission could destroy you. If he opened the door before your character was ready, the door itself could crush you. If he accelerated you without strengthening you, the velocity would tear your soul apart. The grind protects you by preparing you. It ensures that when the season of acceleration comes, and it will, you can handle the weight of it. And this is why the grind is your first assignment in Operation 5. Not because God wants to stall you, but because he wants to stabilize you. Not because he wants to frustrate you, although it does feel that way, but it's because he wants to fortify you. If you can remain faithful in the grind, you become unshakable in the storm and unstoppable in the mission. A believer who embraces the grind is a believer who becomes dangerous to the darkness, because nothing can sway someone who stays steady. This final waypoint reminds you that the grind is not the absence of God's movement. It is the preparation for God's movement. It's where you learn to trust his timing, cling to his presence, and keep walking even when the path feels repetitive. And when you remain faithful to the grind, the next jump gate always opens. The next season always arrives, and the next breakthrough always manifests. Not because you forced it, but because you were ready for it. Your first assignment is simple. Stay in the grind. Stay steady. Stay faithful. Stay connected to the Supreme Commander. Because the grind is where God shapes your strength for the missions you haven't even imagined yet. All right, crew. It's time for our mission checklist. And this time, the crew, as all of us here at the crew, we know that survival in deep space doesn't depend on the big maneuvers alone. It depends on the daily systems checks, the constant, deliberate, faithful routines that keep the vessel aligned with command and ready for whatever lies ahead. The ship doesn't drift off course because of one catastrophic decision. It drifts because of countless small steps of neglect. And in the same way, a believer doesn't lose momentum in the single moment of crisis. It happens when we stop paying attention to the routine calibrations that keep our hearts tethered to the commander's voice. And this week, because we are launching Operation 5 Long Haul, your assignment isn't about dramatic leaps of faith or massive breakthroughs. It's about faithful consistency in the slow spaces. It's about keeping your systems online, your focus steady, your heart aligned. The grind is where transformation begins. So this week, we'll enter the mission not with speed, but with strategy. So first, take time to identify one area of your life where progress feels painfully slow. Maybe it's your spiritual life, your finances, your relationships, a wound you're healing from, or a dream God planted long ago that still feels different or distant. Excuse me. Naming the slow pace is mission critical because what we refuse to name, we struggle to navigate. The moment you identify this area, you bring it out of the fog and into the cockpit where the Holy Spirit can begin to chart a route forward. And next, commit to pray over that specific area once each day, but not for speed, Pray for strength, endurance, patience, and alignment with God's timing. Don't pray, God, hurry this up. Many of us probably have done that. But you really should pray, God, make me faithful while I wait. This will shift your posture from frustration to formation. It trains you to see the grind, not the resistance, but as preparation. And as you pray, you may notice that God isn't always changing the situation, but he's always changing you within the situation. Then throughout the week, record one small win each day, one moment of clarity, one answered prayer, one tiny step forward. One time you choose obedience when it felt insignificant. How about one time where you notice God's hand in what felt like silence? Remember, small wins don't look impressive at first, but they build momentum. They remind you that God is moving, even when the progress feels microscopic. And when you look back at the end of the week, those small wins often reveal the fingerprints of God in places you didn't think to look. And finally, complete the assignment with one act of community. Share your slow progress victory with someone you trust. You may choose a friend, a mentor, a spouse, or a fellow crew member within the church. When you speak your story out loud, you reinforce your faith. When someone else hears it, you reinforce theirs. And when both of you recognize God's movement in the grind, something powerful happens. The fleet grows stronger together. This weekly assignment isn't about checking boxes. It's about aligning your heart with the pace of heaven. It's about embracing the slow, steady formation that prepares you for the missions only God can see ahead of you. It's about choosing consistency over intensity, presence over speed, and endurance over emotion. And if you commit to this assignment, not only will God meet you in the grind, he will strengthen you through it. Now let's wrap this up here, because in every mission, the fleet ends really the same way, not with a roar of engines, but with a moment of reflection. The crew gathers, the lights dim, the hum of the ship settles into a steady pulse, and the commander steps forward to speak over the vessel before it enters the next phase. And that's where we stand today, at the end of our first briefing for Operation Long Haul, on the edge of deep space, with the reading stabilized and the mission loaded into our hearts. This moment is not just a conclusion, it's an ignition point. Because the truth we've uncovered today is not a soft encouragement, it's a commissioning. The grind, the quiet, the stillness, these are not signs that God has forgotten you. They are signs that he is forming you. They are indicators that the Supreme Commander is reinforcing your hull, sharpening your discernment, and anchoring your spirit for the travels ahead. You are not drifting in meaningless silence. You are being strengthened in purposeful stillness. You may not feel movement, but God is moving. You may not hear direction, but heaven's voice is still active. You may not see changes unfolding, but beneath the surface, the creator of galaxies is aligning your heart, your steps, and your future with the precision that only eternity commands. A mission control has never once taken its eyes off your ship. If you take anything from this first mission briefing, let it be this. Your calling is not measured by how fast you move, but by how faithful you remain. God does not build sprinters. He builds travelers for the long haul. He builds believers who can navigate the silence between promise and fulfillment. He builds disciples who can trust him not only when the path is clear, but when the grid is dim and the next jump gate hasn't appeared yet. The grind is holy space. The wait is sacred ground, and the silence is strategic. So as we close this briefing, crew, I want you to lift your head, square your shoulders, and breathe deep, because none of this is wasted. Not one prayer, not one tear, not one quiet act of obedience, not one slow step. These are moments that shape you. These are the moments that prepare you. These are the moments that anchor you when the mission intensifies. And make no mistake, the mission will intensify. The journey ahead holds challenges, revelations, opportunities, and divine appointments you cannot yet imagine. The commander has already mapped them. The coordinates are already set. But before you reach them, you must embrace what he is doing in you right now. So stay faithful in the grind. Stay steady in the slowness. Stay anchored in the silence. Stay connected to the commander. Because this is Mission Briefing 1 of Operation 5. There are more transmissions coming, more truths to uncover, more information ahead, more systems to calibrate, more strength to build. The long haul is a journey of endurance, and you're already in motion. Crew, the grind is not the enemy. It is the forge. So keep the spirit open, keep your heart soft, keep your eyes lifted to the stars, and be ready. A new briefing awaits on the horizon. End of mission briefing. Stand by for next transmission.
All right. You know, technology, you gotta love it. Hit the wrong button, everybody look and sees your desktop. Anyway. How's everybody? It's been a week, hasn't it? At least for me. Yeah, But I want to thank, like I said earlier, I want to thank everybody for your prayers and everything, because I couldn't get through the issue we had last week, and it's still following over. But just to let you know, the family member in question, they're still in the hospital, but they're doing a lot better. Seriously, I think without your prayers and everything, it could have been what was knowing that you guys were praying. If that was awesome. But yeah, we're going with Outer Worlds. I finally picked something. I told you I would, and I want to thank I want to thank our mission commander for allowing me to use his system to do this. It's really cool. Nice guy. The other thing is, I know, if you miss the message, yeah, we'll have it uploaded definitely on our YouTube and a Rumble section. Plus, we're looking at Odyssey as well. So if you like that one, go for that. But other than that, anything else that I could think of that would just absolutely drive everybody insane. Oh no, but I will tell you, that was a good message. I mean, it's funny, I was listening to it, and it struck me quite fascinatingly that waiting, me being new to this whole thing, people tell me, oh, don't worry, it's going to be easier, and our mission commander was kind of cool. He goes, he kind of laughed, he laughed, and he said, basically, well, it's going to be a lot harder, and not everything's going to be, instantaneous, and there's a lot of work, and, you're going to feel put on, you're going to feel like, God's not going to listen to you, and this message came just at the right time, I think, because I think listening to a lot of people and watching many of you who are on X and stuff like that, it's really fascinating that being new to this and listening and talking with the mission commander and talking to some of you on X regarding my walk and watching your walks in life, it's like, wow, it feels like a burden, but if you look at it from a different point of view, and what he's talking about in our message, for this operation, as he calls them, as we call them here at Power Up Church, it's like, I find it fascinating that the waiting is the hardest part. That's one thing, but it doesn't mean nothing's happening, so I just found it absolutely delightful. But the reason why we don't probably have a lot of people, watching us or anything like that is because, well, as our mission commander says, nobody wants to hear the truth that'll hurt them. They want to hear the good news always, and they want to have that feel good. It's like the gospel is not about feeling great all the time. In fact, it really teaches hard lessons that we have to go through. I mean, for me, before I came to this, it's like, to being a Christian, it was like, I can't really describe it. It's more of a lot of the world I followed, and I'm so used to instant gratification as we're in a digital society, just like you guys there, and it boggles my mind. It really does. And when I started thinking outside of the world and started thinking, my body's in this world, but I've got to think not just as the world turns, because it does affect me here, but there's a higher purpose and everything. I'm just like, okay. And waiting. Oh, yeah. Oh, while I was waiting to listen to the results from the doctors, that was just painful. But like I said, the family member in question is doing really well at this time. I get to go see them later today. So I won't be doing the men's training today. I'm probably going to do it next week. But let's get into Outer Worlds here. Play new game. I've seen the game. I've watched it in some aspects, so I know what to look for in many aspects. But as our mission commander said, this is the God mode section. So the season, so we're going to talk about God mode. Then we're coming back to play it without God mode.
Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort
there was a complaint by somebody.
You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to maximize your productivity.
That our mission commander wanted to put in. Hey, give me a second here. I gotta look. Okay, so somebody said, you don't do prayer during the service. You don't do prayer after the service. You don't do prayer after this training. And why is that? And it has nothing to do with, not wanting to do prayer. In fact, prayer is very, very much the core of the church here. But as our mission commander said, prayer is very personable. I mean, we can give prayer in general and all that, and that's really great. And we don't want you to think that we're not praying for you all as art, but we pray for you in the quiet time, in the quiet moments, because if you notice in the message we had earlier, that's when God's really changing things. That's when God's stirring things in the quiet hours. So, and the other thing is that prayer should not very much be a public thing. It's what the Pharisees did. They would publicly display, and we're told not to do that, especially when it comes to like charity, to all these other things. So, yeah.
Drift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful.
I guess we get to choose our character. Oh, we have 6. 1, 2, 3. Well. We'll just be a little better than add a little things. I see. So. They have to go manual. That sucks. Somebody's going.
You could probably talk your way out of a landing ticket.
The bureaucrats. Don't think I don't do that.
Your career was on the rise.
Oh, and the dad. So, let's see, what is our... Well, I'm a guy. I don't think we're gonna be able to make it look like me. But, let's see what we can do. Okay. Oh, that's funny. I think I know where I'm going with this. I think many of you know where I'm going. If you don't, that's okay. But there is a certain individual from one of my favorite shows. Let's see if we can find the heck. And could you see that character like that? There we go. And I'll have to get rid of the... Almost. Let's see. know. If you haven't checked yet, I'll give you the name right now. Yeah, I know everybody's like going, he's one of your favorite characters. Yeah, actually, because of his attitude and how he is. I like. Enter your character's name. Space's choices dying to meet you. Oh, that's funny. I like that. Alright, well, there's all that. Let's get going. And you know,
Looks
just
to
like
me your
everything
lucky
in
day, my
life,
friend.
not everything goes according to foil. And yes, I know that phrase. I've studied you guys very much. So, I may have archaic phrasing. I'm not... What was it? There's a
Not
great
likely, bootlickers.
character, Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, he goes,
Initiate
I'm
skip jump.
hip. I'm with it. I am so not. I am not even close to being, you know, up on the there, as the kids would say.
Status. Structural integrity down 25%. Power levels down 10%. If drive is
Shit.
inoperable.
Well, you know, it's not good when you have that phrasing. I just lost a few things
there
here.
you are, wondering what's going on, eh? Bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on
I
Earth
just lost
have
all
been
my,
in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take.
70 years, though.
Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong?
Well, that would panic me.
Not to worry.
If-
I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you.
Well, that's not
I
good.
know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable
Yeah.
bounty on my head.
I can understand
Now,
that.
my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck!
All of a sudden, my chat went bye-bye. Oh, well. We'll figure it out, as they say, in the, in that world. Oh my gosh. No, it looks like somebody I know. Not me.
Can you
And if you hear me from time to time, sipping something,
There you are.
I got
Now,
what
where
you guys
were
would
we?
call
Oh,
coffee.
Yes, the smuggler. His name is
Very nice.
Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry. I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check
That's
in
good.
with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you.
And here we go. It's I know. Some of you thinking, what the heck?
Ah, you've landed. Good. Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name?
Well, I don't
is
think
that him?
Hawthorne is there
Oh,
anymore.
That idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste.
Of course not.
Hawthorne
Well?
won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go.
Well, it happens. But here we go. Yay, we can jump. And we can duck. We can turn corners. We can even drift, I think it is. Oh, hell well. Nothing else, huh? Hello? I would be teeth you have there, my friend. Timid. Okay. And cave, and what the?
Easy now. You've been frozen
Wow.
for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
You like that? Okay. Oh, look. A friendly face.
You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, law, that stings.
Mm.
Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help. Better, thanks to you. I might have bled out on my own. Or worse, had to go begging the boss for some Adrena time. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely
Well,
scraped
I
by
don't
with
know.
my life. Crawled in here
I'm
and
new
blocked
here.
off the exit with those canisters. Gibbering, flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed lunatics with guns. Some
That was-
hullhead grounded
sounds
their
like
spacecraft out
some
in the
people I
open.
know.
That's a real good way to attract marauders.
And I don't mean no on
See
a
those canisters by
personal
the
level. I
entrance?
mean no
Marauders come
from
sniffing
news
around in
reports.
here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh?
Let's see.
Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's
Nah.
choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try
30%
the rest.
less likely to malfunction.
Spacer's choice.
That's really a,
Yes, nailed it that time.
well,
You hit your
Tell me
head or
where.
something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous salt tuna.
mhm.
The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
Well. Yeah. Did that say dehydrated water? Seriously, it's that. Dehydrated water. Just add oxygen. It's just, oh my gosh. So what is it really? It doesn't have the two core components. That's funny.
Damn it, my ears! Oh, what just happened? Can you hear me? What in the hell? This...
they do play a few games, so know that if you're gonna loot, you're gonna loot. Ooh. Should I? Yes, I should. Okay. 2 bits, huh? I hear the grumbling that it's like, really, guys? Bello. As I sneak up. If we can get a headshot. Ooh, nice. Unaware of what's happening around him. We're hunting marauders.
I smell blood.
And yes, I do know about Looney Tunes. Thank you very much. Well, that's the end of that. Let's see what we can get. We can. And we got this guy here. Wow. Must have been a sale on the Sabres these days.
Hey! Get over here before you get yourself killed!
Never gonna happen.
Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. God,
Wow.
that rung leech.
That's a
Landing in
Hermione
Vale without
Granger.
using an
And
official
yes, we know
Spacer's
about
Choice landing pad.
Harry
I'd slap
Potter
him
out
with
here
a
too.
fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. Really? How is he? Shouldn't have done that. Spacer's Choice family ain't authorized to receive medical aid from off-brand physicians. We'll see him back to Edgewater, just as soon as I cross these marauders off with the swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs, son.
Really?
Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting manager in this situation, you know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. And it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Language, my dear. Well, he didn't make it. I remember I do like a good, shootout sometimes.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder.
No valuable plunder.
Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime. Please submit yourself to the authorities. Hello,
Okay.
Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors.
Okay.
Please return any misappropriated
So they
equipment
have
and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction.
basically you get this.
Jettison procedures initiated. Please engage in airlocks. Prepare to reject all boarded parties in 5, 4, 3.
It's always the eyes, isn't it?
1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment.
Mhm.
I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability
Hey,
of locating a
that's why you
power
take the
regulator
engineering.
within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay
I'll
alive
take that.
this time.
Hey, look at that. Aren't we just a brewery? We do. You already got these taken care of, so. Ooh. The defense. Yes, I accept. Ooh, I get a perk. Ooh. A perk. Actually, I think that would be a little bit more. Look, well, sometimes I do play games where I get over encumbered, so to speak. Don't need a gun now. Why is it that developers think that's just the normal thing? I'm gonna hold it straight up. Like, really. Ooh.
I suppose everything on the Unreliable belongs to you now, Captain. Help yourself. No, really.
Oh, please, Ada.
If your equipment is in
Sarcasm
need of
just
repair or modification,
works so well.
the Crux 2000 workbench is at your disposal, Captain.
Wow, the heavy sarcasm was just absolutely wonderful. Well, let's take care of this. Oh, we're gonna get a violation out.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay. Yeah, fair point. I'll let it go this time. If you're looking to help us out with our Marauder problem, talk to Constable Reyes over in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Inspect the All right. Clerk inventory here. I mean, what I find is I like rifles for dirty work, mainly. Everything else is just being whatever. I could go east. Anyway. Oh, I see movement. Maybe we should have a little fun. I'm totally fire a scarecrow. Shh. Wow, I cannot tame work. Anybody else? Anybody else? No? Okay. I got somebody else. Anybody? Did he go hiding in here? No. Well. Interesting. No, I'm serious. Am I losing my mind? I saw somebody over here. Oh well. Guess he jumped. But now let's go back. The other way we were gonna go. Oh well. Then you have a problem with marauders. Ooh.
Gonna find you.
Are ya?
You hiding? You scared?
You somehow know. I just know that sneaking works better. So do I. You. Of course they would. But yeah, is there a sale on Sentry Sabers for some strange reason? Alright. Yeah. Walk, run, right all over the place.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna talk to you, sir.
That's Marauder territory, friend.
Let's see.
Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls and low prices.
Does everybody plug something here?
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you.
No.
Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater.
Actually, the funny thing
We're all
is,
part of
our
the
mission
Space
commander lives
Resource
next door
family.
to a mortuary, and funeral parlor owner. So, that he says it's a match made in heaven.
Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer? Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites. We rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures.
Ah,
Some of our
lots of red
families
tape.
become a
Sounds
mite
like any
delinquent
good
in paying their dues,
corporation.
you see.
Hmm.
4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
I mean, what? Why is she a special
Just
kid?
is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up.
Okay. Where are these
Conrad's
people?
got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad.
Alright. Yeah, like any good RPG, I think what we should do is do what's good for it. Ugh. Interesting. Aw. Messages. Okay. Wow. Definitely dad's humor on that one. Mm-hmm. That's nice to film. Upstairs. And where there's stairs. It's gotta be something up here. Wow. There's a surprise. Wow. This place is very cleaned out. A hunting crack for animal. Maybe need that later, I think. You know, who leaves a little light ammo hanging about? It's like, really? That's absolutely strange. Oh well, nothing else. Well, I think it's time to go into the city, or town, or whatever they want to count. Get in there. Nice. Oh, and funny enough, I just got a message from our mission Vander. He's actually going to be getting a model for himself. He finds it fascinating. Wow, I was expecting that. Usually you can find loot boxes stuff. Whoa, hello. Okay. Yeah, I'm used to looking a lot. Again, because you see little areas here, it's like they hide stuff. See, that's what I was expecting. That we're gonna have 2 corpses. That not cool. So up there's the barber shop. Well, let's go see about this guy. See what his whining's all about. Let's talk to
Please
you.
don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical
Wow.
hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness.
Isn't that godliness? Oh, I've gotta get
We
that.
don't believe in free anything here in Edgewater. We're a Spacer's Choice company.
Wow.
I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
How do I report to you when I'm dead?
Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
Oh, please speak like a bow. No.
As broke as pie crust, friend. Bidless, indigent, destitute. I
Oh,
simply
please
cannot
get the
afford it.
thesaurus out while we're
I am
at
a
it.
blemish
Oh
on the
my gosh.
prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch. Edgewater is built on the discipline and sacrifice of its people. Say what you will about our town, but we all pull together. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies.
Wait a minute.
Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law, and through my own hard work, I'd proven worthy of treatment. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings. Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No.
You
that
have a
won't do.
pair of lucky clippers.
Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions. Much obliged.
There's a door. He's watching me. Hello. Wow.
What can I do for you? You know about Eugene? How? Then, you know Phyllis suggested selling off Eugene's gold teeth. I didn't approve of the idea then, and I don't approve of it now.
Well, I don't think you have much of a
Eugene's
choice.
golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave. That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's Choice.
Come on,
I
man.
can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
You're gonna have to.
Yes, I suppose I must. Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU.
Oh, excellent. So cannery. Oh, general store.
Another day at the cannery.
Don't go knocking
It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. And before you ask, I'm all out of deluxe salt tuna. All I've got is gourmet.
Okay.
Music to my ears.
Okay. First, let's get rid of. Ooh, that's nice. Let's start here. Somebody's gonna say, don't sell all that stuff. You're gonna need it later. Yeah, well. Right now, I don't think I have much of a choice, because... Oh, I do, I guess. Instance for using God mode. Cash is always valuable. I've never used in any, like, melee weapons. I really don't. So that just makes no sense to me. I mean, no.
It's not the best choice. You ought to go have a talk with the boss, Reed Thompson. He's up in his tower above the cannery.
Okay. Oh.
Had your rations yet?
Okay, I have a canteen and go. Oh, wait a minute, you know what? Dude, calm it down. We need to blend in. Look like you're on the pole. Looks like you're here. See? In good state. That licensed practice of medicine. Oh, God.
Been eating nothing but salt tuna for a year.
Oh.
Welcome
Let's talk
to
to
the
you.
Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing a promotion. Purchase 3
Possible. Did
criminal
I beat
investigations
you
and
over
the
by the
4th
ship
one's free.
earlier?
As a Spacer's Choice constable, I am authorized
Do you
to
have a
grant you
twin
legal
that I don't know
authority toward
about?
apprehending wanted criminals. Know how to carry yourself in a fight? I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller.
Okay. I got some questions.
As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity.
What is the sound of one hand clapping?
His likeness decorates many a wanted poster. Do you have any relevant information about this individual? You are correct. An outstanding bounty has been posted for information pertaining to the whereabouts of Phineas V. Wells.
Okay. That answered that question, because... Who did you ask? Okay.
Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing with myself.
Oh. There's a dwelling here.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm
Well,
fine, Mr. Thompson.
I think we found one
Everyone
person.
healthier. Whoa, did Mr. Thompson send you? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy.
Okay,
And what are you doing here? Visiting? Well, let me give you the grand tour. This here's my domicile, and there's the door.
Wow, friendly people here.
Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows.
Knows what.
I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching, and soon I shall be ushered through the great cannery in the skies. It's plague. Has to be. Silas knows.
Wow.
He knows I got one foot in my grave.
I may be
and now he
new
wants
to the whole
charge
Christian
me
thing,
for the other
but
one.
that's a new one on me.
You are? Oh, wow.
Let's be a little compassionate,
First
why
time
don't we?
anyone's ever told me that. I'll pay your fees. I don't want any trouble from Silas. But if you could see a way to freelancing for me, I could really use the help.
Okay.
There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway. I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me.
Okay.
You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, Law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it. Just keep your head down when you're in there. Marauders
weird.
have taken over. Probably tracking mud all over the archives. I know that, but I got nobody else to turn to.
That
Reed
has
would've
happened.
wrote me up. Constable would have locked me up and wrote me up. Could have gone to see the good vicar, but I never did find my courage.
Okay.
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy.
Yes, madam. How can I help
Excuse
you?
me. I'm Esther Blaine, Spacer's Choice
Well, I'm
Actuary.
Lieutenant
I
Commander
overheard your
Dana from a
talk with
different
Abernathy.
series, but that's okay.
I hope you're not thinking about getting him that medicine. Abernathy is a well-known hypochondriac. Anthracillin is wasted on him. You're better off selling it to me instead.
Okay.
All I'm saying is Abernathy's worked in this town longer than some of us been alive. How do I put this gently? He's got a lot of cobwebs up in his attic.
That's an interesting way.
I probably shouldn't tell you. Don't want you implicated for what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
All right. Here's a summary. A lot of sick people.
Yes,
in
I'm
this
trying to
town,
get XP.
And we don't have the medicine to treat them all. Can't reach out to corporate without crossing a river of red tape, so I'm reaching out to you.
Okay.
Something like that. Look, I'm not in the habit of law breaking, but sometimes you've got to do the wrong thing for the right reasons.
Okay.
That's all I can ask of you.
Is that an alley I see? Wow. Absolute buck of there. Ugh. They woo. Hello. Wow. Yeah, before we go in here, let's look around the town.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one.
No? Let's see. Anything in here? Oh, hello. I have... Oh, hello. What do we have here? Let's see. Oh. Knives. Knives. Anything in here? Ooh. Minimum stuff. As always. Knives. Why is that they can't give us nice things? Alright, I guess we're gonna have to do this whole thing. Let's go in here. Ooh, vending machine. Okay. Well, definitely can sell stuff. Two revolvers. Let's see what... evil stuff. Yeah. I already have those. So I have armor of 10. Ooh. That's quite nice. Always use that. You know, sometimes you just need something that is quiet. I may use it later. I don't know. Really? I have yet to see a machine like that dispense a jingle in my life. Oh, hey, look.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy.
Me?
Shit. Silas still on about that?
Yes.
Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
That's very nice.
The sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame though. Eugene was a good worker. Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why.
No.
The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
Yeah, I
Eugene wasn't family.
But he wasn't family. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines.
Ah.
Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
Ah. Well, you see, I had to ask that
When
question.
one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
Wow.
Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
Alright. I'll let you get back to work. And I saw a door over here. Nice. Ooh. Yeah, if I'm gonna... Well. Oh, okay. in fifth show, the Derek show where well, you'll get your medical privileges. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'd like to be cold-hearted for 300. Yeah, that coming from the guy who's stealing. Hey, it's not, we're capturing loot. Oh, or stuff that we may need. Oh. Okay. Like I said, I remember some of the stuff that I've seen on this game, so... Okay. Okay. Hello? Ooh. I guess you could say that's an okay thing. Guessing. Yeah, I watched a few videos on this game, so I know some. Not everything. And I'm on a spaceship, yay. Guess we'll sick leave. I'll schedule it. You know, I scheduled that cough about 4 days from now, so. Wow. True elevator music.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
Wow.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me
I think what we'll do is we'll take a break. After this whole little
It's
tete-a-tete, so to speak.
Feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
I think that's our cue, wouldn't you say?
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Well, okay.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing.
Okay.
I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Oh, well, excellent. Let's hear it.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab.
Okay.
Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
Okay.
Adelaide's
However,
older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
okay.
That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. But I am ready to make amends if they are willing to return to the fold. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and
Excellent.
weapons and engine tape.
We have
so
our companion.
I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
All right. All right. So we need to go. Wait, yes. All right.
Hey, mister, can we talk?
Oh, wait a minute.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Okay.
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't.
Yeah, it can happen.
We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about.
Don't we all? That's cool. The one we don't,
no
the one we whisper.
To cook, they'll be at the mercy of marauders or worse.
That crazy ant they all talk.
Vicar about it. Max, his name is. Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
I like your dad. Awesome guy. Alright, so let's see. Oh, that's right. We now have the companion ledger. Excuse me. Well, I think she needs a little warm. Alright. I'm waiting up. You don't get a trip, huh? Wait a second here. I get that. But I can give you this. This is a lot better than what you got right now. Alright. Do we have any perk? No perks available. Armor 10. I gotta get rid of the roll. What's going on here? Okay. Oh. No, that's... You know, I think I should have gone through this earlier. And yes, I go through it because, you know, it's like those things, like, you really don't need to look at things. Alright. That's looking all good. Alright, well, we're gonna pause it here, and we'll be back. Hey everybody, just want to let you know I'm gonna have to end the stream quite early, unfortunately. Next family member, they think he's turning over voice or something. I'm not getting too much information. I just said they said to come down, and I'm the closest one right now to see them. So I'm gonna have to end the stream right now. But thank you for joining us. I'm gonna save it here. Let's save the game here. I want y'all to just keep my family members in prayer and everything. But I will tell you this, that our mission commander is doing the men's fleet training study today at about 1. He did mention that the slides are not working, so it's going to be basically just text and everything. So if you go to our website, powerupchurch.org, and there'll be a studies area. I think it's /studies. Go to there. It'll be the men's Bible study. It's like there'll be a link in there, and you can go from there. So, and I just want to thank all of you for joining me. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you all later.